Hello everyone. Today I'm going to go over the choice I made for the protection system for my A7 III. Like many of you, I'm coming from a totally different system. I'm coming from Nikon. Many of you will probably be coming from Canon or Fuji or some other, camera manufacturer. But one of the things that I noticed with the new Sonys, because like I said, I'm very new to the mirrorless cameras, is that they're very small and they seem to feel, I'm not going to say fragile, but in comparison to, say, maybe my, Nikon D850 or D750, with a grip, it's a much sturdier type of body, but it's something you get used to. So one of the things that I definitely wanted to do was to provide a little bit of protection for the camera, as well as being able to accessorize it for, future run and gun type of scenarios. So what I did, and if you're curious, this is the Sony A75 1.8 that's affixed to the camera right now. But generally, whenever I'm shooting video, it'll either be a prime 24 or 35 millimeter 1.8 or 1.4, something like that, just depending on what I have access to. But what I wanted to be able to do was to be able to protect the camera itself and be able to attach other accessories to create a very unique type of run and gun functional system, so that it would not be too heavy, but it will still get the job done. So what I ordered was the Smallrig kit, and it comes with, starting out, as you see here, that is the cable lock, and that's designed to hold the cable in place. So when the camera is inside of the case, it allows it to lock those cables in place, so you don't have to worry about your monitor cable or something like that getting pulled out, and that's always a really good thing. So that only attaches really simply by just two screws, and you can see those right here. Just two little bolts, put those in place, and you're good to go. Now, the other thing that this rig cage came with is a top handle. And when I first got the top handle, like most people, I mounted it, here on the top, like this. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, how often will I really need this handle to be on top? If I'm running and gunning, most of the time I'm going to be looking for something that's going to give me a little bit more stability. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put this kit together part by part as the way that I have it set up for when I'm out and I'm doing my little run and gun type shooting, and you guys will get an idea of exactly what I'm dealing with. Now, there will be a couple of times in the video where I have to cut away, and that's because, it's a lot easier to assemble some parts of it. I will describe each part, but most of these things are very simple. They only require one bolt in order to lock in and move on to the next thing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the camera into the rig, and with this specific lens, I have to remove the lens cap in order to put it in, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I have to take the lens cap off, and then the body pretty much just slides right in, and you only have one bolt, which is underneath here, to lock this in place. All right, guys, I got the camera back in the cage. It is locked in place. I have our lens cap back on. And I wanted to show you guys one more little small thing that I seem to notice that a lot of people, when they talk about these cages, specifically for the Sonys, that they seem to overlook. If you look right here, you have a small little loop that is normally where your strap attachment would go there, the little dingly things that drives everyone crazy. Well, the kit comes with one little screw. And this screw is used to help hold the camera in place. So that screw just goes right in here, and it screws into the frame of the case, of the cage, and it helps with stability so that the camera won't turn or something like that. I haven't had a problem with it. Now, if you, for some reason, want to be able to take your camera out really quick out of the cage, for whatever reason that would be, you probably would not want to put that screw in. I had it in the beginning, but, over time I realized I really didn't need it because I didn't have any problems with it moving around, so everything pretty much stayed in place. Now, the next thing, as I said before, when I first got the cage and I looked at some of the other components, one of the components being the top handle, which goes here with the NATO rail. And I have the NATO rail here attached to the side of the camera. And that's in order to give me, as I said before, just a third, point of contact. So we can just slide that on. Let's get that on there. Lock that down. And as you see, that's how that would sit. So if you were holding the camera, and when I put the other accessories on, this will make a little bit more sense. But I attached the rail to this side. Now, what a lot of people will do is they'll order one of the wooden handles or something like that. I haven't decided if that's, for me. But who knows, going forward, if I decide to go with something like that, I'll definitely do another video, showing you guys exactly how I'd be using that. Now, I have had a couple of people ask about the loop system that I've been using for this cage. And the loop system is made by a company called Carry Speed. But even if you can't find the exact one that I have right here, you can find something that's very similar to it. And the way this works is that it locks in with a little device right underneath the camera, in this case underneath the cage, and then this part here will fit up flush against your monitor, which allows you to look through the viewfinder here, and you'll be looking directly at the monitor. So in order to affix it to your cage, it comes with this little accessory, which mounts directly underneath. And then what happens is the cage then goes into the base plate. It locks in place like that with just this little bolt, and it holds it in place. So if you guys give me a second, I'll show you what that looks like completely assembled. Okay, guys. So I have this completely assembled, and as you can see here, it is covering the monitor completely, but it does still leave accessibility to all of the buttons, the joystick, and when you want to flip this up, it's that simple. You just pop that up right there, and you can kind of monitor the screen that way if you don't want this affixed to your face. So that kind of gives you that type of, again, like I said, the objective is to try to get as many points of contact as you can to stabilize your camera. So let's lock that back down. Now, the final component that I usually use in my run and gun setup is going to be this component here, which is nothing more than a very simple pistol grip. This pistol grip here is by a company called P&C, but you can find these on Amazon for as little as, $5 or $10 or whatever it is. And the way I attach that is basically one of the holes here. Let me show you closely. One of the holes here at the bottom of the base plate for the viewfinder. Just find you a spot, whatever you like. Tighten that down. Get it flush. You end up with something like this, with a handle at the base, a second handle to the side. You have your camera completely protected by its cage. And you also have your cable lock if you go with the Smallrig cage system. Now again, like I said, it's up to you which cage you decide to go with. There are a number of cage providers out there. Smallrig has been known for a long time to produce some high quality components. So for the price, it's almost impossible to beat it. All right, guys, I wanted to make this a really short video to show you how I'm setting up my run and gun setup. And maybe in the next video, I'll show you guys how I set up my full system, with rails, with a mat box, that I would usually use on sticks or on a monopod or something like that. So look forward to that video coming soon. Again, this is your friend Rome. I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for riding with me.